so much of the series is about sacrifice. What is the greatest sacrifice someone has made for you or you've made for someone that you're willing to share?
Oh my God, your questions are amazing.
Thank you.
God, it's like on a daily level with my wife, actually. She's sacrificing so much just letting me go do this show and kind of keeping everything together. But uh, I spent a weekend in jail for somebody to have the lawyer and get out before me. So that was the biggest one I ever did for somebody. It's hard to do that. Charges never stuck, so nobody needs to look them up. That was a long time ago in college. I was like, you get the bail, you get out. The biggest one anybody's ever made for me is my brother let me have a ticket once from South America to fly home while he waited there when we had one ticket out. And are these nuts? I'm blowing your mind. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that was the biggest one there.
I have a daughter who made a great sacrifice for me. I think most of my great friends, who number now about 5, have made sacrifices for me along the way.
That is a big question. Well, I'll tell you, my partner, he lives in Iowa City half of the time with his kids, who are wonderful. So I feel like one of the biggest sacrifices I've made up is having to take connecting flights, which I promised myself I would never again do once I was past the age of about 25. But I've taken a lot of connecting flights for love. That's my big sacrifice.
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Aw. I would say probably, this is like very cheesy, but I would say probably the biggest sacrifice is this sacrifice that my mother gave to me and my sisters. She really gave up a lot to raise us, and she did a beautiful job, and she's an amazing mom. So yeah, I think the sacrifice of motherhood is a very big one, and it's also a theme in this show as well with Teresa. So
Emotionally, what was the most challenging scene to get right?
To get right, gosh, this is going to sound a little bit like a cheat, but honestly, it was because it was too cold. The scene, I have a scene with Will Pullen, who plays Marchetti, outside, and we're talking about my daughter and what happened to her. And it was a very emotional scene, and it was 100 below, it felt like. It was one of the coldest days I've ever shot anything, and we had to pretend like it wasn't. And emotionally, it was challenging, but it was especially challenging to keep my eyes open when it was that cold. So I will say that the other emotional scenes on the show, like I have a big scene with Brian that was really emotional. I had a phone call to a suicide hotline that was emotional. Those scenes just sort of tumbled out, and I think maybe that's just a testament to Peter Craig and his writing, honestly. But the scene that it was really, really cold. It's hard to stay on track emotionally and that focused when you're that cold.
oh, I would say probably the elevator scene in episode 7. It was a hard one to kind of figure out, like, how I could be there for Ray in that scene in a way that would be like appropriate without like giving any spoilers. But yeah, I would say that scene.
It's good. There were 2. Ray and Manny in the bus in episode 7 was really hard to get right. But we had a really good director named Marcella Saeed who just gets it. She's really indie European director, had an eye for it, just got it. That scene with the grenade at the end of 104 was really hard to get right too. And it was hard to cut too, because I let them go. Our editors are so good that they can yell over each other and we can still get it. But it's the hardest stuff in the world to cut when everybody's on top of each other. And I just like that kind of naturalistic fighting and messiness in a scene. So that 104 scene took us like 2 weeks to cut just by itself, just to try to get everybody legible. Yeah, definitely those 2.
There's a scene where Amina and I have a face-off, like a real face-off in the hallway, and that was really fun. Jonathan I don't want to mistake his last name. One of our amazing directors. I wish I know his last name, how it's spelled, but I don't want to say it wrong. Jonathan Van Tolkarum or something like that. Forgive me, Jonathan. JVT is what we call him. He had us do that so many different ways, and it was actually really fun. It felt like theater school, because we did it, for lack of a better word, hot whispers to each other. We did it full big. We fit it basically the temperature. We did it multiple temperatures, and I had no idea what they were going to use. And what was so fun, this is one of the fun things about acting. all of them felt right. It's just taste, timing, and then seeing how they put the show together, how they cut it together, where to raise the temperature. What was also really interesting watching how they edited that scene is we see Marchetti, played by the great Will Pullen, who's the junior agent on the team, how his reaction to it. So actually there was a good chunk of it where they weren't on us. We would just hear it through the window and we're watching his reaction. So it kind of takes us with the journey with the audience about the outside perspective on it. So that was, I didn't know how that was going to play. And so we played it in every way. It was really fun.